This is what happened last week too. Like it was going, and it just kept spinning like that. I mean, it's not. Yeah.
Echo. Should. Just type in the same log 4306 F8.
I was like, do you really think I remember this now?
It's so funny you're right-handed and I'm left-handed. But I'm left-handed, but I can't use the mouse with my left hand. I've never been able to do it. I can coordinate that way. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Tango Talks. This is episode 10, season 2.
Season 2.
I can't believe we're at 10 episodes already.
I know.
And we're booked out till June, just about.
It's exciting.
Today's guest is Jenna Udenberg. She is a thought-provoking author, disability advocate, and accessibility educator. She was diagnosed with juvenile arthritis at just 7 years old. Wow. Jenna has faced life's challenges with incredible resilience and determination. As a 2020 Bush Fellow, she uses her voice to create more inclusive and accessible spaces for everyone. Her book, Within My Spokes, shares heartfelt, I get stuck on these simple words sometimes, stories of perseverance, healing, and the relationships that has shaped her journey. So we are just waiting for Jenna to log in, and we'll get going with the show. And
yeah, we're here. We're here.
We're here.
We're here.
So I'll just get back to the music while we wait for Jenna to log in, and then we'll get the show going. Thank you much for being here. Hi, everybody. We apologize for the delay. We are just trying to help Jenna get into the room and log in. So hopefully we'll be starting soon. Thank you for your patience and thanks for being here. We're almost there, everybody. She's we got her into the room, and we're just trying to set her up as our guest speaker now. Hold on 1 second more, and I certainly appreciate your patience. All right, so we want to welcome Jenna Udenberg to the show, and we want to express our extreme gratefulness for everybody for being patient while we get set up here. So I'm going to say it again because some people weren't here and I think we just lost her. Well, I'll say it again. So if we can get her back again, today's guest is Jenna Udenberg, a thought-provoking author, disability advocate, and accessibility educator. Diagnosed with juvenile arthritis at just 7 years old, Jenna has faced life's challenges with incredible resilience and determination. As a 2020 Bush Fellow, she uses her voice to create more inclusive and accessible spaces for everyone. Her book, written Within My Spokes, shares heartfelt stories of I stumbled on that word again. Perseverance, healing, and the relationships that shaped her journey. So hopefully we have her back in here soon. She was in here for a second and disappeared. I feel so bad. So while we're waiting, how was your day today, love?
It was good. It was good. Not real happy about the weather. My goodness, we're having some crazy weather today, huh?
Oh my God, we're back to, you know what? And no, it irritates me. I spent $15 yesterday to get my truck washed.
Don't you know that if you wanted to go, so you're the reason why we have the weather like this today?
Probably.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, well, that's what I get for thinking that it was nice enough to get my truck washed, but it looked really pretty for a day.
Well, now with all the ice on it, it's going to be really pretty.
Yeah, it'll probably be a nightmare trying to get into it tomorrow morning when I go to work, but it is what it is. I think we're going to have to wing it tonight. We are chatting with Jenna on the Pod Match site, and we're having just a little bit of a connection issue. So we do apologize. If she gets in, she can Jenna, you can just jump right in and just say what you want to say, and we'll shut up. Just talk right over the top of us. But meanwhile, we'll try to keep people entertained. It's not like that's how we didn't start. With our doing it all by ourselves.
I know.
And now we have a new setup.
We do.
This is our Pod Studio version 3 now. And we got it nice set up. We've got some of our printing equipment set up now so that our other business can start producing some orders and getting them out. And in fact, we just put together a 32-page book for a local garden club. That was interesting because that was my first book that we ever put together.
Yeah, but it looks so nice.
I was trying to figure out where the pages go. It's like, I'm going to have to print one of these just to see where it's going. Yeah, Jenna, if you can hear us and you want to just start talking, see if we can hear you.
Jenna, are you there?
We can kind of, I really don't know what the issue is. I know, she says she can hear us, and we're chatting on the Podmatch site back and forth, but she can't get into the site for the live show. So we do apologize, everybody, for that. I know she feels bad too, but we just had one listener. Fax Porcupine say to log back out and come back in. Sometimes that clears up probably a cache issue or something like that on your phone. Yeah, she's like locked out or something like that. But Jenna, we certainly want to reconnect to you again and try this again. It was definitely a story that we wanted to hear and we wanted to share with our listeners. So please, keep us on your radar, and hopefully we can do this again, in a couple of weeks. And, everybody, for everybody who's listening, she does apologize. And, we're sad that she can't be here too, but, yeah. So, somebody's going to send you wait, Jenna, you're back in again. And we have another listener who's going to send you a link.
Jenna.
Yes.
Hey, we got her.
Wow. Sorry, everyone. It even turned my phone into German for a little bit there. And I was like,
oh my goodness.
It should not be this hard. But welcome to my life. And I'm tech savvy, so that's why I super apologize.
That's okay. I'm glad we had the other page open too, just to see what was going. I told Angela, well, let me open up that chat thing, see if she's sending us a message. And that's when I was like, oh, there she is.
There she is. Yeah, we're sorry about that, Jenna. This is something new that we're using too. The pod being this way.
Yes.
So, we do apologize. We're trying to troubleshoot some of the things that are coming up as well. But we're glad that we could hear you now.
Yes.
I'm so glad I don't have videos in my apartment, because you would hear me talking and looking through all of them. Had I actually had that recorded, but it's okay. We're here now.
I do that all the time too, so don't worry about it.
Scary part is when we start answering our questions out loud, right?
Right. I already read off the little profile about you, and so we're ready to hop right in there. Let me get back to our questions that we had for you, because we were looking forward to this, and it was like, don't tell me we can't get her. I do have to say, though, you are very faint, though. It is hard to hear you.
Okay, is that better?
No.
No. Okay, well.
All right, here we go. Yep.
That's perfect.
I won't.
Whatever you just. Okay, so again, I gave the introduction for you. I was surprised. Reading this again, even that you were diagnosed with juvenile arthritis at just 7.
Yeah,
that had to be devastating.
Yeah, like I say, I'm always thankful that I acquired my disability at a young age, because you just don't know any different. And so yes, of course, in those first moments of life change and watching your parents to get all teared up in the doctor's office, and figuring out that life was forever going to be different, was definitely hard. And growing up with that diagnosis and new wheelchair before the Americans with Disabilities Act was even passed is kind of a kick in the teeth to realize how old I actually am right now.
Which we never discuss on this show.
It's all good. Bring your age and number with pride is what I say, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, and so everything is just, it just makes us who we are, right? So
True. Absolutely. So I'm having problems on my side now. Screens are flickering back and forth. I don't know what's going on.
If it turns German, we're out.
Yes, right.
If it turns German, we're out, folks. It's a short show tonight.
Right. And nothing against those that are German or speak German. I just don't know how to read it or speak it, except for sing a couple arias in German. But we're not going there.
Okay. So why do you say that disability is not a bad word?
I now can say that I'm a proud middle-aged disabled woman. I used to say young woman in there, but the reality is it isn't good. It isn't bad. It just is, right? So let's stop saying that it's bad. Let's stop adding pity. Let's stop adding our own ableism or our own insecurities around it. And let's just say what it is, right? And also, when I talk and share my life story too, it's not like I overcome things in spite of my disability, right? I overcome things with my medical conditions. I overcome things because otherwise I wouldn't have to overcome some of the things, right? So And a lot of times it's about disability isn't necessarily about my medical conditions or things that make me me. It's about the environment in which people put me in, right? So if everything's universally designed and, you know, you can get from point A to point B, I can get from point A to point B, life is good. But if you put me in a space where you can get from point A to point B, but there's 20 stairs in between, and therefore I can't get from point A to point B. And so I think we've just treated disability and any of the other horrific words that were used to describe my people group previously. You know, there's power in our words and there's meaning behind our words. So that's why I love just saying that, because kind of like you said in the question, like if you listen back to your inflection, it's like, well, why would you say that disability is not a bad word? Like we just already have this bias from our culture and from our society. And also that whole like survival of the fittest, right? Everybody should have 6-pack abs and run 5 miles a day. And, you know, it's fun. Right?
Well, the interesting thing is, for some reason, and me and Angela have talked about it at length, we have attracted a lot of guest speakers on like health and mental healthness and other health-related topics. We had what was I trying? Oh, see, I lose my thought so fast. That's what happens when you turn 60.
It's all good.
But
I'm a diabetic too. Like, oh, brain fog. Oops.
But it's just so that like that word disability. You got to help me out here.
Well, I think let me try to clear this up, shall I? I think what he's trying to say, Jenna, is there's such a lot of times there's a negative connotation that goes along with disability, just in general, you know. Yeah. And when we are strong enough and we overcome obstacles,
right.
It's well, I don't know what you're trying to say.
I think I'm just all frustrated now, just trying to get the show going.
He's looking at me like I'm supposed to know exactly what's on his mind, Jenna.
Maybe we do need to speak German. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. No, but seriously, no. I'm going to just say what I think he would say. But there is kind of a negative, maybe not negative connotation, but there is some type of when you say the word disability, it's almost like public fears that word.
Right. That's because like what we had Noah on.
Yes. Here. Yeah. When he was talking about, you know, the mental illness, correct. You know, so there's always some type of, maybe it's an uncomfortableness, you know, society has an uncomfortableness when we start talking about things like, you know, when we use the word disability.
Yes.
Well, and I think, Jenna. And I'd say, I think too, you know, it brings out our insecurities and it brings out our vulnerabilities. Like we have to be vulnerable enough to say, hey, I need help. Or, hey, I can't meet here because it doesn't meet my basic needs. Or I'm not safe here, right? Because I can't use a restroom safely. Or I can't get through the snow and ice because people aren't removing things. Or you know what I mean? Like we have to be able to talk about our barriers and talk about our needs way more than non-disabled culture.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree, and I like that, and I agree with you. I think that for so long, I think this is where I was going. For so long, you know, you heard that somebody had a disability, and it was like, oh, gee, you know, and
right.
I think if people talked about it more and shared it more, then I think more people would understand, you know, what that word really means instead of just, you know, being a negative thing. It's not necessarily a negative thing at all.
Yeah, because it doesn't mean you can't do anything, Jenna. It just simply means that you have to, you know, considerations have to be made. Like you said, you can use the restroom safely. You can, you know, maybe there's an elevator and there's a, you know, you can do all the things that we're doing. It just may have to be more accommodating to what you might need.
Right. Well, and I think too, you know, the word disability is such a broad label, right? We are the most diverse minority group in the whole world. And for so long, getting back to your point, it has been a negative word because we were institutionalized. Nobody knew what to do with folks that were different. Nobody knew what to do with some of our medical conditions because, unfortunately, until science and medicine and all the things, right? Like, until there is a need, we don't innovate. We don't change.
Right.
We
and
don't.
What scares people the most
things.
are people that are different from the norm.
Right.
And there's always, and sadly, I've said it, there's always going to be some faction of humanity that's going to be the blunt of the rest of society. You know what I mean? Whether it's, for a while, it was, not that I'm saying it's gone, but, you had people of color that were persecuted. Then you had Irish people that were persecuted. Then you had, people with disabilities. And that, it just, I don't think I would love to say at some point in our future evolving in history that all people would just look past all that stuff, you know what I mean? And just look at us all as the human race.
Right. Yep. I long for the day, and especially when people talk about the other minority groups and their labels, and it's like, yes, and disability is in all of those. And so then it's so interesting because it's like, oh, but this person of color, and it's like, yep, and so what about the disabled people of color? And they're always like,
what?
Oh, wait, multiply marginalized? Oh, wait, what? And then, and then when we talk about disability just being a natural part of the human experience. So every single life is impacted by disability, whether it's your own or a loved one's or a coworker's or a community member. Like, we all interact with it. It just depends on what level of awareness and what understanding people all have. And like some people who are disabled will not claim that label. They won't claim that identity. Mm-hmm. And that's totally cool, right? Like that's their journey. And Jenna of, 15 years ago probably would have still liked handy capable and all those other words. But now Jenna of community leadership is like, that makes me feel icky because I feel like I have to infantize myself or I have to superhero myself. And one of the words, I don't know if this is okay, but you can tell me no, but, is in disability culture is like, we're either like pitied upon or we become inspiration porn. And there's no medium where we just get to be ourselves. It's getting better, don't get me wrong, in pockets. But if you really look at the bias around disability, it's like, oh, they're so inspiring. Or, oh, they're just angels and everything they do is great. And people always laugh when I'm like, people in chairs can be jerks too. Like, like nothing of our disabling conditions make us angels, gives us any whatever. Like, do we have to deal with more stuff in life? Absolutely. Are there still non-disabled people that have a lot of stuff to deal with in life? Absolutely. Like you said earlier, it's just a human condition. It's a human being, a human race thing. And there are amazing cultures in our world that deal with it well. And it's not seen as a negative. It's seen as a strength, or it's just seen as it just is what it is. And we as a community value life. And then therefore we change our community norms to involve everyone.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The disability isn't all that you are.
Correct.
So, do you want to do the next one?
I actually had another question. So if we were talking about this and you said that this all came about when you were 7. Mm-hmm. So, and you were just saying like 15 years ago, your thought process was totally different as far as things go. So with some of the obstacles that you faced just throughout your life, I mean, in your situation, what did you do exactly to overcome a lot of this? Like, how did you really change your way of thinking or just become the person that you are today?
Yeah, that's a great question. A lot of it comes down to who I've put myself around and who I've been blessed to have in my circle of people, right? My tribe, my community, my support system, whatever verbiage you want to use. I've had amazing medical people who have been with me for 20 to 30 years, and I'm sad that they're all retiring, but they've, when you get to know somebody at that level, 3 days a week for physical and occupational therapies, when you're checking in with your doctor or surgeon every 3 months, like,
doesn't it almost, because I've had that happen. I've had doctors that I've had for 20 something years, and then all of a sudden you hear, "Oh, they're retiring." It's like, no, but we work so good together.
Yeah, and it's hard because they become like another family to me, especially when some of them I've been treated by since I was a child or adolescence, at least, right? And I would say, my bestie or the president of my nonprofit, Jamie, one of my physical therapists brought us together in pool therapy back in the early 90s when that was kind of a new thing of hydrotherapy. And she has the exact same disabling condition that I share. So we have that in common. She's been a wheelchair user. She was diagnosed at age 2. I mean, so it's finding those mentors and those people that have gone before you. And then, building those deep relationships. And also, my mom, I give her a ton of credit because, I watched her and she has lots of older friends ever since I was a kid. And so like having that modeled for me, because of course, all of my providers were older than me. All of the different people that I had to learn how to self-advocate from case managers when I was in high school to later on when I was in college and working with, different professors and those kinds of things. Like I was just given those opportunities. And then I also had an amazing middle school band director, and she saw me for me, and she saw the different gifts and talents that I had. And that's what inspired me to become a music educator. And it wasn't about the music, it wasn't about instruments, but it was about the fact that all kids need the experience to just find themselves and, create spaces for themselves that meet their different needs and personalities and musicalities. And so, yeah, it's really been the people that have come into my life that have seen more to me than just my joints, or more to me than just my medications, or more to me than just what physically they see at that moment.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, public schools are almost the worst because they want to put everybody into the same box. I mean, don't get me wrong. I went to public school, but do you know what I mean? Like everybody's got to, hold the scissors with the left hand, and everybody's got to, do this and they try to conform everybody into the norm. And I don't think, like you said, everybody needs to find their own little box to fit into.
Yeah, and I would definitely say that was more public education of when I was going through it as a student. But from the other side of the desk, I say that a lot of that has changed. And, of course, it depends on your local administration and your local teachers and, all of that.
I am also going back 40 years, so.
Right, since you shared your age, I was like, well, yep, got it. Then I'm the next generation, and now I'm like, oh, current generation.
Yeah, we're almost going back far enough where you get, with the nuns used to slap your hands with a ruler.
Hey, my first teaching gig was at a parochial school, and even though I was not Catholic, I did fear those nuns. So, and one of the nuns was my principal, so you just always had to be careful around her. But no rulers came out in my time of teaching there.
No, thank goodness.
So I kind of like this next question, only because I run a trophy shop, and we do a lot of ADA signage, and there's specs that you have to follow on that. So why do you think going above and beyond just the checklist of meeting this and that should why should we go further than just that?
Yeah, great question. So I'm pretty sure both of you would not feel good if people grab their clipboards and their pens, and when they meet you, they only ask you questions and only talk to you based on what the checklist on their lovely little clipboard says. Right? And then in our world, you have ADA from back in 1990 when it was passed. And then I don't remember what cycle they, update things on, but then it's like, oh, now there's this like supposedly new checklist, and oh, there's this new checklist, and oh, now there's this new checklist. And code takes literally an act of Congress to change. And so that's why so often, like, things just don't make sense. Like a prime example is when I go traveling to hotels. So in ADA code, toilets have to be between 17 and 19 inches high. But then when you go over to the bed currently can be anything from a mattress on the floor to 28 inches in the air.
Oh, geez.
Mm.
And so why would one safety feature in this room over here not be applicable to this over there? And so there's just things that people don't think about. And I understand in some ways, again, I'm putting my educator hat on of like, this is a purple crayon and this is a blue crayon and this is a brown crayon and, whatever. Like we have to use the labels to like get the basics in. But like it flabbergasts me that people can't use logic or common sense to be like, if you can transfer here to 17 or 19 inches, why do we think you can transfer to 28 over here? And yet, I know if there are disabled folks listening and, throwing things in your chat, sometimes caregivers need the bed to be higher. But my premise is like, and especially for Above and Beyond with You, our nonprofit, is like promote it then. So every room should have specific pictures of that room. Don't do stock pictures because you're a mega hotel, and then therefore you're just saying every single franchise, blah, 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 the rooms look like this. Right. Well, that doesn't work for our body types. It doesn't work for our safety. And then if you do change out the bed, or you do put a different toilet in, or you take the tub out and you put in a roll-in shower, like you have to be able to update and promote it, because you can't build it and then yell at us that we didn't come because you never told us you built it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know it's there if you don't let us know about it.
Right. And I had suffered through that in the Good Old Boys Network in the late 80s, early 90s, early 2000s, right? I always got lambasted. Jenna, we made this accessible for you and you didn't come. Well, did you tell me? Oh, you told me, but then guess what? I got sick. Oh, well, that's not acceptable because we just spent all this money to make it accessible for you and then you didn't come. And it's like, do you hear what you're saying? Like everybody gets sick. Everybody has things that happen, right? And I had another thought, but the train left the station before I circle back. Shoot,
it was that one.
Boy, I'm glad we're not the only one. Thank you for that, Jenna.
Right. So the biggest thing is that we always look for people to be committed, because being compliant is treating us as a checklist. But being committed is like, I am the manager of this hotel and I want to make sure that all of my people that come here, all my patrons, are safe.
Correct.
I want to make sure that their needs are being met. I want to make sure they can get a good night's sleep. I want to make sure X, Y, Z. And so.
See, now to me, that does, like you said, to me, that would make sense. Like, if I was going to have rooms that were set up for all access, then I would even think you'd even want like dressers and counters and stuff like that to be,
at the level where
either adjustable or at least, to that level.
Right. Like the other day I was doing a site assessment for a upcoming conference and going around their different hotels that they have in their room blocks, and the general manager unexpectedly was a part of our tour. And all of a sudden I was in there and I was like checking out the fridge and I was like, nice. And he's like, why are you so excited about the fridge? And I'm like, because you put it on a 4-inch pedestal. Because can you imagine trying to lift something heavy down into the fridge and or out of the fridge? And the fridge bottom is like 2 inches from the ground. Like that's really hard. And then I can't imagine my friends that are in power chairs or in scooters or have different limitations of strength or mobility compared to what I have. And it's just like, it's the littlest things that can either make something accessible, and it's the littlest things that can take away accessibility.
Yeah. Like, again, for me, the 2 inches doesn't mean anything, but if you,
right.
If you're in a wheelchair, the 2 inches could make, or 4 inches could make a huge difference. I could see that. So I'm curious about this next one. What was it like writing your memoir? How do you even start something like that?
Yeah, I had people tell me for years, Jenna, you need to write a book. Well, actually decades. But, and a lot of that was around, the medical world and, you always have a positive spin on things. Well, not always, just that's usually what people see and all the stuff. But, during the pandemic, during my 2020 Bush Fellowship, during times of being at home, it was like, all right, well, the world has shut down. Now is the time. Like, let's do this thing. And so I joined a self-publishing organization, and they really taught me how to write my book, and, had writing coaches and writing rooms and all the different things. And that is really the only reason why Within My Spokes is out in the world as it is, because I needed that accountability. I needed that push. And I'm very thankful to my first writing coach that I had, because she said, you're a memoir writer, and your memoir is, you have deep stuff, right? Like, and who knows what you're going to be called to share and not share. But write the stories that you have that energy for that day. So if you're kind of, melancholy, then write those sadder, harder stories. If you're on the mountaintop, don't go and write the melancholy story, because you're not going to do it justice. And also, when you're kind of sad or exhausted, don't write those mountaintop stories, right? Because it's going to convey to the reader through your words and the things that you choose. And
go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say, as a type A, that was so refreshing, because I was like, I have to chronologically think through my life and write every life story and then figure out what's going to get edited, and she's like, no, don't type A it, right? Like, write where you're at the day, and then we'll edit it and piece it all together. So just start is my advice to anybody listening that's like, oh, I've been told to. Yep, just write it down and don't perfect it. Just get it all out. And then once you get it out, then the editing process is interesting.
Putting it in order.
Yeah. Now, did you find it difficult to actually do that, to like put the, start typing on the keyboard or writing those words down on the pages?
Not so much, because I was also a columnist for our local paper in my column, Local View from 4'2". So I'd kind of already been writing vignettes, but it was different in having the through line, right? The whole story.
Wait, say what was the title of the column again?
Local View from 4'2".
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And yes, I did measure my eyeballs, and they are at 4'2", because you can't just be cool. You have to be legit in Jenna's world. So
that's about the same height as my husband's grandmother. Fully standing and walking around.
Right. Well, when I stand, I'm 5'8", but when I'm in my chair, they're at 4'2". And I had a little feisty grandma that was shorter too. So
awesome. I really love that. But so you got on here, and I'm not sure how to take this this last one here. It says, share a challenging story from my life. Does that mean like my life or your life?
My, as in Jenna's life. Like, you can ask me to share a challenging story.
Okay. I'm reading it as like, share from my life and explain why I'm motivated. That's going to take me a second. I could do it.
Yeah, but today is about Jenna. We're invited Jenna to speak to us. So
yeah,
but I can flip the table at any time, and we are live. So there you go.
That's the bad thing about being live sometimes. Like, you can't
you can't take it back.
Right? That's why I'm glad it's not a live video show at the moment. Like, wait, what is my face doing? Got it.
We are on a 5-second delay, right? So I can change my face. No, Jenna, we are not.
Like, oh man. I always laugh when I do other podcasts too that use a different platform, and they give you like these video clips. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to be amazing. And then I get it. I'm like, what is that face? And it's every single time. I'm smiling almost the whole time, but every time it sends me a clip, it's the like, oh, technology. Love it and not at the same time.
I agree.
Well, and I think those moments are to be expected. If you really are not like seeing each other, face to face, even through just like the video chat part of it, sometimes a question could be asked, and just like we were, you were reading this, Wayne,
right? You don't know
and you're like, wait a minute, how should I interpret this? So you're going to have that like, what?
Right. Yep.
So, well, now that we've asked the question, go ahead and give us a challenging story. That I'm sure, and I hope you don't take this on. I'm sure there's probably been a few.
Yeah, and say, how long do we have and what generation of my life do you want? Oh, let's see. Any topic that you're thinking of?
Well, let's say like, how about like going to dinner?
Going to dinner.
I'm a big foodie, so of course that's the first thing I want to think of.
I love it. I am a foodie as well, but now doing gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free meals is not exactly foodie friendly when you're out and about. At home, it's all great. Okay. So I can share one. I was late college, and a former friend of mine was taking me out to a restaurant in a local city where I had lived at the time. And it was winter. And so in, northern Minnesota, there's lots of snow, there's lots of ice. And of course, the accessible parking that worked for me was not available. And so I had to kind of jerry-rig my own parking across the lot. So, trying to cross over 2 lanes of parking lot traffic and then get through all the slush and yuck and extra ridges from the plows and all the things. And my friend knew, because we'd been friends for several years, and she's like, all right, I'm going to turn you around and pull you backwards, because it's always better for the big wheels to do the big work than the little wheels that can get you stuck and fall out of your chair and all the things. And so a worker had just come out, and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. Can I help you with that? And my friend grabbed the fat of the back of my arm through my thick winter jacket and said, don't you dare. And I was like, you are right, because I am not a that. I am a human. Yeah. And if, you can just say, can I help you? But I get it, right? I speak dumb every day. I put my foot in my mouth every day. But it just got me. So then I had a laugh, not really in the moment, but I laugh at it now. We fought and fought and fought, and we got in the restaurant. And as we're sitting I'm sitting, she's standing in the entryway, or where like the hostess booth is, all I see is stairs. And so you literally see this wonderful woman just lit up like a Christmas tree, just smiling and just bright beaming. And she's walking up the 3 stairs at us like, hi, how can I? And she saw my chair, and she literally like frowned and turned around and walked back to wherever she came from. So then she comes back like 2 minutes later, and she's like, hi, how can I help you? Is there just 2 for your table? And so she literally had to go find her manager because there was no ramp. So they had to take us through the bar and through the whole kitchen to go sit in elevated seating in the back of the restaurant. Yeah. And I was like,
they updated things since then.
Well, that is now a parking lot and not a restaurant. But
there you go then.
Right? As I was sitting having the meal, I was like, so I'm pretty sure if the health inspector came through and saw 2 hair up people walking through your delivery line of food, you know what I mean? Like,
I would not be happy.
Right. And, and it wasn't back in the 80s that this happened. It was like, I don't know, maybe 2005. So yeah, a while ago for young folks listening, but not really that long ago. So I'm like, ooh, yeah, very, very icky stuff that happens. And then another one, eating. We were supposed to be going to a local resort, and literally they're like, oh yeah, to get up to the restaurant, you just use the lift. And I went to use the lift, and I'm like, yeah, nope, there's no power to it. Oh, well, you just have to go up the stairs and let the server know, and then they'll turn it.
Duh.
Oh, right. I was like, do you understand the not logical thinking in that one? So yeah, those are.
You're gonna see the whole like deer caught in the headlight look come across their face.
Yes,
they're just gonna be like,
yeah,
walk away now.
Yep. And then they're usually like, tail between the legs, that was dumb. And I'm like, okay, well, let's just laugh about it, but like, let's learn. So like the next time a disabled person comes, or like maybe you change your policy that you turn the lift on and you turn the lift off. Like, I understand it should be on when you're open, but then you can turn it off when you close. But yeah, just weird stuff. But then the kicker, now that I think about that, at that resort is like, I've stayed over in the next area, And those accessible rooms, you have to be able to use that lift to get down to the main exit. So what I just said doesn't make sense in that scenario either. Like, just leave it always on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand that. It's not like it's costing any power just sitting there.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Lots of things to make your head scratch, right?
So I think I got one last question. So with all that you've seen and changes being made, hopefully, right along and, at least yearly, do you think that, we've gotten better in the last couple of years with, making things accessible?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of pockets of amazingness. And I think there's a lot of amazing folks doing really hard work. But I still long for the day where it's not just pockets of goodness. Like, I long for the day that I can just travel with an overnight bag like everyone else. I don't need to bring the kitchen sink of all the different scenarios I might run into.
True.
I don't need to do all this pre-work, right? Like, I don't need to call the general manager when I make the original reservation. I don't need to call them again a week out. I don't need to call them again when I'm almost there. I don't need to educate people the fact that, like, hey, I drive my own van. Like, I need help putting gas in my vehicle. Hey, did you know the ADA makes that you're supposed to have somebody on staff to do that 9 to 5, Monday through Friday? Like,
I didn't even know that.
I didn't either until like 4 years ago. And I think it can differ by state, and there are different loopholes, of course. But I really wish that we would get out of the habit of needing federal or state or local mandates to tell us how to be a good human.
Right. Just meeting the checklist and that's it.
Right. Like, it's okay that somebody who's disabled drives. It's okay that they would need help to gas up their vehicle. So let's figure it out. Because then also, well, why don't you also offer that service for people who are older, or people who are just temporarily disabled, or moms that really can't leave the car because baby is crying? Like, there's
or just everybody just be a human being.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? What's the one thing the one thing that used to, I don't know if it was in, yes, I'm going to shock you, Angela. I used to have to go to, one of my classes in middle school was actually going across the road to a church, and I had to take Catholic classes. But it's what's the saying? Treat others like you'd want to be treated. You know what I mean? And why can't we just, as a world, just treat everybody nice?
Well, and that's a huge question, because I feel like the whole dynamic of just the world in general is changing, like it's not even just when it comes to, like being just a nice person to your neighbor. I mean, it's just everything. I feel like some things are lacking anymore.
There's a lot of things that's lacking.
There's just like, if you and I said, why don't you just be a better human? Well, we're going to say, you're right. We should be a better human. And to us, that means, looking inside and what would you want somebody to do for you? But if you talk to some of the others around, even a younger generation, yeah, what do you mean? I mean, we see it with simple things like holding the door open when you're, when somebody's walking through it behind you.
That's a great one. Jen, if you ever met my husband, he's one of the nicest people on the planet. And he will hold doors open for people. And if they don't say thank you, he'll just yell at them. He's like, well, you're welcome.
Where I'm from, we call that Minnesota nice.
I like that.
I like that too. Well, Jenna, it's been a pleasure talking with you tonight. I'm glad that we got you into the show, and sorry about all the technical difficulties.
Yeah, sorry on my end too, but we had good laughs. We recovered, and we had a great conversation. So thank you so much.
Thank you, and have a good night. We certainly appreciate you.
Yes, thank you, Jenna.
All right. So, is there anything else you want to add to the show, or?
No, I love it when we have our guests on. I think it's just so great. We just learn so many things, and we just meet such great people.
I was going to say the same thing.
It's so lovely to.
We've learned so much just because we've only been doing the live shows now for this year, and we've just learned so much from people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just amazing the wealth of information that people are willing to share.
Yeah.
So yeah, I certainly enjoy it. Well, that's the end of our episode for tonight, everybody, and we certainly appreciate you being here and being patient with us getting going.
Yes. And Jenna, again, a shout out to you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And that's it for tonight. So until next time.
Slancha.
Slancha. I wasn't sure if we were going to say slancha or skull.
We'll say both tonight.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Everyone.